Hey guys, welcome back to the table. To the tables, I should say, and the shelves. We'll get to all that. Just want to say howdy and thank you, everybody, again for helping me make it 9 years with this channel. Because to be honest with you, it's really because of you guys that I've kept this thing going. Probably wouldn't have done it if it was just for me. But I've enjoyed doing it, and I plan on doing it, I guess, until I don't enjoy it anymore. However long that will be. Anyway, rare sight for you here. This is not Napoleonic figures. This is World War II stuff. Don't know that I'll actually do anything with this. I've done this a number of times. Fiddle around and set something up and not follow through. But we'll see how it goes. I've got some newly based Flames of War paratroopers, American paratroopers. I've talked about this off and on in the past, my Flames of War stuff that's in boxes. And I've dug a significant portion of it out and rebased, as you can see. So there you are there. They were already painted and assembled, just sitting in boxes from many, many years ago, and I just finally started digging in there and pulling some things out. Made some more shelf space for them, and so there they are. The German markers are my traditional way of running a solo game, World War II skirmish style. You've got the chits here, and when you get line of sight, as you move up as the Americans here, we've got, let's see, a platoon there, and a platoon there as you move up or place yourself in potential line of sight of a enemy. You draw a chit. So say, for instance, these guys, right, have line of sight to here. So I would draw a chit randomly from my cup, and if I drew a red one, that means Germans are occupying that building. If I draw a gray one, that means they do not, etc. And then you draw, you would place a squad, single squad in there, and then draw to determine if a leader is placed with them with the second cup of chits. Just again adds a little nice flavor to solo play, and I've got some other little things that I do as well. But that's standard for me. I've been doing that for quite a while now. And each building, the garden there, and the churchyard are all potential places for Germans to be hiding out. Each hex, I should say, that a building is on. So there's that. What else? Again, I don't know if I'll do anything with this, so this may be the only time you see anything World War II on the table. Enjoy it while you can. I don't know. I'm just trying to reacquaint myself with something other than Napoleonics, but the Napoleonic thing is still just gnawing at me profusely, so I don't know how that's going to go. Meanwhile, the ASL shelf is getting a little bit of a makeover here. Predominantly, well, actually, this is all official MMP Avalon Hill stuff. I've weeded out any third-party stuff, gone, sold on eBay, and pared it down to just the official MMP Avalon Hill stuff. Now, there's about, 6, 8, 9, maybe 9 things I'm still missing to have the complete collection there, but I did flesh it out recently, as much as I've been selling. I've been meaning to do this. I've just kind of neglected the whole thing there for a while. But I did pick up Hollow Legions from Gamer's Armory. Great price. Sorry, MMP, but yes, cheaper than you. And sorry, Ritter Krieg. I really like you as well, and I would recommend anybody go there and check it out. But honestly, this was the cheapest place I could find it. And I've ordered from Gamer's Armory before. And my God, the shipping's fast. I mean, I think it got here in 2 days. As soon as I ordered it, they pretty much shipped it. So hats off to Gamer's Armory. And then I've got a few things coming. I was lacking on some the last 2 Winter Offensive bonus packs. The most recent Oktoberfest pack. And I was trying to check and see if they had done one for this Oktoberfest. I can't find anything regarding that, so I'm assuming they didn't do it. I don't know why they wouldn't. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if there's a Oktoberfest pack for this year. And I guess I can expect another winter offensive bonus pack early next year. But anyway, yeah, those 3 holes I had are now filled, and that stuff will be here when it gets here. And then I went ahead and ordered the charts that are of similar ilk to this pocket edition rule book. I guess that leaves the only third-party thing I have left is this guy, this rat charts. And I don't even know if this is the second edition rat charts. Good enough for me, but don't know if I'll hang on to that. Maybe I'll let that go as well. We'll see. And of course, the ever impressive mint original ASL advertisement there. So yeah, I haven't really touched the core ASL stuff. That's a rule of mine. Don't plan on ever selling any of that stuff, but yeah. And then as far as these shelves here, really sparsely populated with the cardboard these days. So again, typically that would be, where's my finger there? That would be games just like you see here. But now it's Napoleonic miniatures. You guys have probably seen this before already. And over there, that would be games as well. Where again, that would be games just like here is now Axis and Ally stuff that I had elsewhere. That would be also games, but now it's old, what is that? Old Avalon Hill Generals. Similar situation, I've just now relocated the old school tactical stuff. And similar situation, what you see here would be filled here, but now it's just odds and ends and whatnots. And similarly, where's my finger again? I don't know, right there is now just hardback copies of things. And I think I had a number of the stuff like War at Sea, things like that, Russian Campaign, those types of games would be on top here. And all the Grand Tactical Series stuff and that Grail game, Streets of Stalingrad, all gone now, all sold. But still enough for me anyway, enough left for what I do these days. Most of my World War II tactical stuff is still intact. And so there's that. And then what else? Oh, I just picked this up as well. I've heard enough about it. I tend to listen to, and it's not necessarily because, and I've said this before, I'm into ancients so much. But I guess it's a sign of a good podcast, the Mad Axeman podcast. I listen to that off and on because I like the guy's sense of humor. And I like his wrangling of the other folks on the show. And they talk enough about this, I finally broke down and bought it. And I thought, he's piqued my interest. I'll now know what the hell they're talking about when they talk about this. And apparently this is the go-to rule set for ancients and medieval and all that. I don't own any miniatures from this era, but I do have blocks, and again, that's good enough for me. You can still get a feel and taste of the game doing that, which I plan to do at some point. The cool thing about this is, now this is 200, and this is thick, hefty, heavy, full of stuff. It's full of, what am I getting at? The lists, there's like 300 army lists in here. Yeah, 300 army lists, so you don't have to create your own, you don't have to buy another supplement, a module. It's all self-contained in here, which I really appreciate. So everything you need to game ancients and or medieval. L'Art de la Guerre. This is the newer, most recent edition. So there's that I just recently acquired. And I should add, I did back to the ASL stuff. They have a new historical ASL module up. It's the San Marglis stuff. They've been talking for years off and on about this alleged airborne World War II U.S. airborne module in the works, Normandy, etc. Well, it's finally happening, so that's awesome. I pre-ordered that as well, so that'll be coming. That brings us to these shelves, 2 of which are new. Now, I've added two rows, and I've got room for one more. If I back up, you'll see what I mean. So I have room for one more up there, God knows what. But at the top, my ACW stuff. And then I had really nowhere else to put these guys, but this is really the only modern I guess you call it Team Yankee stuff. We got some Russian tanks and some British tanks there. That's it. I'm not even sure why I have it. And then Flames of War stuff. So again, these are things that I had already owned and painted and based. This is original from like, oh my God, probably 2 decades ago. Something like that. These are in fact Italians. May end up selling these. And these are Finns. Same deal. Probably never use them, so may end up selling those. Then the British down here, which I rebased, as you can see, because I now know how to flock without getting a static grass applicator and all this crap you allegedly need that you don't. My favorite allied tank of the war, the Firefly. Again, all painted and put together by yours truly back in the day. Some U.S. stuff, and this is just a portion of things. I just don't have the room or space to put everything out. And in fact, and I thought about this critically, there's a lot of things I own. I don't know why I own it. I would probably rarely, if ever, put it on the table or be inclined to do so, but yet I own it. Case in point would be, and these are more Americans, most of which paratroopers are on the table right now. Let me back up. When I play anything World War II, it tends to be tactical, skirmish level. So I don't need a lot of stuff. Okay, there's that. There's the Russians. Most of these guys, interestingly enough, and I'll come back to what I was going to say earlier if I don't forget, which I think I already have. Most, if not all, the infantry was based in this style. So we all know the doormat method. Well, I cut like, my God, I can't remember how many of these out back in the day. Again, it's no wonder I'm not paired up with that woman anymore, because she had to endure this as I did this for, oh my God, I don't know how long. This being the whole Flames of War hole I went down. I think it was probably simultaneously the end of our relationship, but enough about that. I had originally based all of my Russian infantry in a similar manner, and yeah, it took a long time. I had like some huge Bigfoot shears that I would use to literally cut like scissors, these squares out of the mat and use as bases. All right, so yeah, there's the Russians there. And so again, to go back to what I was saying earlier, as we move down, here's some of the German stuff. Once again, all painted and put together by yours truly. I'd never owned an airbrush. It's something I've always been envious of when it comes to camo. Nothing does better than an airbrush, but I feel like I pulled it off pretty good, and then you can see some of the damage from being in storage. A lot of these fenders, I just remembered that had to be glued on. They don't like to stay on too well. They pop off fairly easier, so I noticed a number of those when I pulled them out of storage. I really like the bases. The bases that I bought for these guns, these anti-tank guns, came like that with the dead cow and the stone walls and stuff. Oh, very cool. German SS rebased with static grass. And this is like some, just a random platoon of Stalingrad Germans that I threw together. There's a objective marker there. Down, probably Messerschmitt or Volkwolf or something. I added the wing to it to make it look a little more impressive. Same with this tank here. Objective marker, it looks pretty nice. So anyway, what I was saying was, a lot of this stuff is still in boxes. Why? Because I'm not inclined to use it. In fact, I'm disinclined to use it because things like artillery is again, you only have so much table space, and when you start getting into actually using field artillery on a table, I mean, let's be realistic. That can be represented, if you want to use it at all, as off-table artillery. You don't really need it. And there's a lot of things that qualify as artillery. So like the Katyusha rockets mounted on trucks, I have probably 4 to 6, 8 of those. When would I use them? And certain types of armored vehicles for the Germans were more or less just artillery. Same deal. Here's what I will add, and I've got, oh God, like I spend so much time on American artillery. I've got, again, 6 to 8 of those guys, beautifully based and painted, but it's probably not something I'll ever use. Now, that said, the only way I can really justify any sort of artillery, short of huge mass battles with, companies versus companies on a gigantic table, is four bases of German artillery. Why? I'll let you think about it. Think Normandy, and then think Breakhorn Manor. So it's always a fun scenario to game, fun to represent on the table. And it's basically what you have with your 4 artillery pieces there as objective markers. So it's really the only way I can justify using artillery in the game. So again, this is just a small portion of the Flames of War stuff that I've been talking about off and on for years. It's been in storage. Very small portion. And if you go back, I don't know how many videos, I think I do go through all my Flames of War stuff. So if you're curious, you can see the rest of it. You just gotta figure out which video that is. Then we go to, I'll start up here. That's the Samurai that I like. I wish I had more of, but this Zvezda kits that these came in, they go for so much now. And you can get the little supplement packs of guys, but they're so minimal, it's not even worth doing it that way. So I think what we're looking at here is, I think, 2 starter kits, base kits of Samurai from, what is it? It is Samurai Battles, which was really 2 games in one. You've got the Art of Tactic and the Borg stuff that is now Commands and Colors Samurai Battle standalone stuff, but it's a lot of bang for your buck what you got here. I really liked them. So again, stuff you have to paint and assemble, which I did more or less. And then the empty shelf for what will someday, hopefully, Warlord, if you're listening, and they always are, Russians. I'll take Austrians, but this is reserved for Russians. And then the Prussians there, and the French, and the gaudy, god-awful red British. I mean, I know that's the color you gotta do, but if I was ever to paint or feel motivated or inspired to paint these, it would be because the British are just so damn red. I need some Visine to get this out, it's so red. So there's that. Still happy with it. I mean, prior to this, see these guys? What I was trying to do here, that I now can with this, I was doing with, you see all those plastic bins there? Those are all filled with Risk figures that I painted and based. I don't know if they're showing up well there, but that's the best I could do. And yes, there were things that could be ordered that already exist, but again, I won't go into it too heavily, but you have to know what you want to do ahead of time, and there's no generic, like, as far as I'm concerned, quantity-wise even, real better generic box starter sets of Napoleonic miniatures than this Warlord stuff. Sorry, that's just how I feel. Everything you pretty much need is self-contained and in there. It's a really good deal as far as everything. Again, cavalry, different types of cavalry, artillery, different types, all your different infantry. It's all in there. You don't have to figure out what you need to represent it, to field an army on the table. It's all in there. Done for you. So that's your updates. There's my ships that I'll never use again. I tried to use them once and I'm not a naval guy. I try every so often just to check and make sure, and I'm still not a naval guy. If anybody's interested in this, I mean, I could let you have them real cheap. It's really just Axis and Allies ships that I painted gray. Found some images online and printed them off and cut them and glue sticked them onto bases, Warlord bases, and there's your naval ships. Just doodads and odds and ends. No end of this stuff. So much of it, but it's stuff I use. And then the let's see, four bins of more odds and ends and doodads, papers. I went through a lot of it last night. I threw away a whole trash can full of stuff, which felt good. Every so often, I just feel like, you know what, the accumulation thing has gotten to be a little too much. Starting to feel a little claustrophobic, and I let some stuff go. Which over the past, again, 6.5 months, I've really unloaded a lot of stuff. I had this for a while. This is, well, size-wise, from an old gaming store in Columbia, Missouri. Had asked the dude if he would let that go, and he's like, can't do it. And I think he was going to quit there or something, like a year later, and he's like, remember you asked for that? Well, you can have it. And he gave it to me. And there it sits. I need to put it up somewhere. But I think that covers it. That's about it. It's a Grotto game there I use for the dice. I've never played it. I do a lot of kit bashing like that. These I need to sell. Anybody interested? These pub battles games. We've got Marengo, Waterloo, and some Dracula, something or other. Forest of the Impaled. Anybody interested in these? Let me know. I'm happy to let those go. Victory and Glory down there. Terrible game. Can't sell it though because I've used most of the blocks from it and nobody wants to buy a game without the pieces. I literally use the blocks for it a lot. Little as markers and such and whatnot. War of the Ring. That's also for sale. Okay, that's all right. Another time for that. There's a whole eBay page online of stuff I have for sale, so I don't need to go over all that. But and most of this stuff you see here is already listed. I'm just pointing out things that I have a goal of $150 to reach my ultimate goal. I'm just 150 short, but we'll hit it eventually. 6.5 months of selling, and it's been very lucrative. And then the tops of these shelves probably just going to be sprues. See, there's more Warlord stuff. More Warlord stuff. More Warlord stuff. Just storage for, so like these buildings here, when I'm not using them on the table, they'll go live on the tops of the shelves, which used to be games. And I don't know if you can see because it's dark, but under here is the mountain of boxes that I've kept. I don't know why. It's all Warlord, Napoleonic, and ACW boxes. Just an entire mountain that's slowly taking up space under the table here. So, all right, that's it. This video was way longer than I intended it to be. Just wanted to show you guys around. Thank you yet again for supporting this channel. Again, don't know that we'll see anything happen here with this. Hope springs eternal, I guess, but I'm still stuck on that Napoleonic stuff. That's really where my heart's at these days. But I'm giving it an honest effort here. I'm trying. All right, guys. May do a rare unboxing of Hollow Legions. I might do that. But all right, that's it. I'll let you go. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon.